welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing a mini series for Discord.js. I don't think I'll get this finished before I have to leave for college, but we'll just see how we'll do this. I think I'll probably try and upload this like every single day at least, because this is a little bit easier to do than the Discord.net, which I'm still going to try to do, but it's a little bit harder to do things with Discord.net because I need ideas for it, and I'm running out of ideas to do this, and it's also a little bit harder to get everything I need set up for it. Whereas with with Discord.js, it's different. It's a little bit more easier for people to understand how to do a lot of these things. JavaScript is very easy to learn. I do recommend you learning JavaScript before you're watching this because I'm going to be doing more advanced stuff, which is what I usually do. I'm not the type of person that likes to do easy stuff because it's kind of boring to do the easy stuff. So this is kind of why I will be doing more of the advanced stuff. Um, so for this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is just setting it up and showing how we're going to do this. We are going to be actually doing this with classes. We're going to be doing JavaScript classes for our bot, which is something that not a lot of people do. A lot of people just do file types, where you just have your code just in the file. It's not within a class within the file. But we're just going to do classes because it's a little bit nicer to do that kind of stuff. And you will see why we are going to do it because we can add stuff to it that we could use. So the first thing we need to do, of course, is we need to set up the project. So if you do Control-Shift-C, if you're in Visual Studio Code, if you're on Mac, it is Command-Control-C, I believe. I'm on Windows. I don't know Mac that well, but I believe it's Command Control C if you're in Visual Studio Code. Um, so yeah. But anyway, so now we just need to do is npm init, and you'll see here I just named it tutorial here. Description you can put whatever. I'm just gonna say Discord bot. Entry point is fine. It's gonna be index, but we're gonna change that to be something else later. Test commands fine. We don't need to worry about this kind of stuff. I'm just going to put my name down. There we go. And I'm just going to put this in the MIT license. Okay. And then what we need to do is npm I dash save. If you don't know what dash save is, dash save just is safer to do than just doing npm I and you put the package you want. Dash save is more safe to use. So we'll be using that a lot. Discord.js, and we also want .env. The other reason, there's another thing is --save -dev. That one's for developing dependencies. If you're more like if your project has like it just needs for development, you would just do --save -dev. I don't know if that helps to explain anything, but hopefully that does. But we're not going to be using that much. I think we might use it once or twice here. But anyway, so we have discord.js and .env. We also need Chalk. Chalk here is basically going to be for a console because we're going to make our own logger, which will make everything look nicer. We need Moment here. Moment is for just time, basically. It's to format time in the way that we want it to be. We're just going to use the default format because I don't want to think this through and actually make a format for it. You can always change it if you want to. What else do we need here? We want emap. Emap is just the enhanced version of map, which is really nice. We do need to have better SQLite here. 3 for it because it will not work if we don't have the SQLite. Better SQLite 3 here. I'm seeing if we need anything else. I believe that's all we want. I do want to have ESLint here. So we're going to add ESLint here. ESLint, if you don't know, is kind of like more for style. It enforces coding style, so it makes sure that your code is more fluent in the way and everything is more frequent or is consistent in a way. I like using ESLint over like Barbell. or the other ones. Just because I only used ESLint. I never tried the other ones, but I just like how ESLint works. Um, you don't have to use my ESLint version. I like using my own because it's a certain way, but you don't have to. But we're gonna do ESLint dash dash init. Oh, I forgot you have to do npx ESLint dash dash init. Okay, I am going to do is this. I want to use. Oh no, wait. Alright, alright. I failed that. I want to use CommonJS. I am not using any of those. Nope. We want to use Node, JavaScript. What would you like? Would you like to install them now? Yes. There is one thing I like to have here on this exit on ESLint before we work. Allow. Well, there's a few things. First one is going to be indent. So what does indent do? Indent is just going to enforce like that we need to indent a certain amount of. We want to have error and we want to have it be tab. Okay. So you'll see here. Expected 2 tabs, but found 8 spaces. There you go. That's what that does. It enforces tabs over spaces when we use indents. I also want to do, what was it? It was like bracket. Oh, I need to look this up on the website. But there's one I really love using because it's more of my style. I have to look it up. Brace style, that's what it's called. Okay, brace. I need to make sure this is a string. Brace style. What does this do? It basically enforces like how the style of the braces will be. You'll see later on. But it's gonna be an error, and I use all man, and I allow single line. So single line, and I do true here. So single line will allow me to use single lines if I need to, which is sometimes what I usually do here. Is there anything else? I use indent. Yeah, let's enforce quotations here. We are going to use double quotations over single quotations for specific reasons. So we want to do quotes. And if I'm correct, it should be double. If I'm correct. I have to look this up. Yeah. Okay. And then there's another one that I want to have, and then we can start doing this. Next one I want to have is going to be semi. Semi is for the semicolons. I like to enforce having in semicolons. Error. Do I just put true here? Yeah, no, I put always. Always. So this will always enforce us to use semicolons to end our line, which is what I really love to have. We're going to have a src folder here, and we're going to come over here, and we're just going to put src here. Next, we're going to go into the src folder, and we're going to put index.js, and we're going to add another one. I usually call this to be discord bot.js, but you can name it whatever you want. But anyways, this is going to be the bots class. This is where we're going to create the class. And then the index.js file is what's going to call on our bot class. Hold on. Okay. So let's start working on the Discord bot one first. Okay. So in here, what we're going to do here is we're going to do module.export equals class, and then this is going to be Discord bot extends client. If you don't know what any of this means, so module that exports is essentially like it exports the module, which is our class, Essentially, it makes it be able to be used from other classes. If we didn't have this here, then this would technically be a private class. If you don't know what public and private means, public is more of it's an accessibility modifier. So basically, public means where everything can access it. It does not matter if it's in the file or if it's outside the file. Anything can use it. That's what module.export is. Private here, if I didn't have this here, that means anything that's in the file can use it, but anything outside of the file can't use it or access it. So that's kind of what that means. You need to have a semicolon there, and you'll see this is allman. Allman just means that has the brackets on its own line, which is what I prefer because of C#. I've been doing that, and I like how that style is. But anyway, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to do constructor, and we're going to add options here. You'll see there's some errors, but it's fine. And then we want to do super here. I'll explain what super means. So what does super mean? Super means that it is technically the class of client. So constructor is the constructor of constructor is what constructs everything within the class. This is what when we do new and then we call the class name and we have the parentheses, that is we're calling on the constructor to create everything for the class if it needs to. So super is basically the constructor of client because technically Discord bot is the child of client. Client here is the parent. So child and parent works in like real life. Essentially, the child can't pass anything to the parent, but the parent can pass things through to the child. Because if you think about it, it's more talking about like genetics and all that stuff. So this is why we have super here is because we need to add certain things to the client to pass to the child. Okay. So now next thing we need to do here is we're gonna have the command. We're gonna have like a command collection. So we're gonna do this dot commands equals a new collection. You may be wondering why I'm not doing like Discord dot collection or Discord dot client. It's because of this. This is actually more efficient to do it this way versus doing const discord equals required discord.js. The reason for it is because if we do this in brackets and we just call on the class names, we're only grabbing those things. We're not grabbing the entire package. If we were to grab the entire package, we are actually increasing more things for the program to do. This is why it's more efficient to have stuff in your brackets, whereas just calling on the entire package. You can do either or. I usually use brackets as much as I can. I usually call on the package name if I don't know what I need, and then I just change it to whatever I need. But this is more efficient doing it this way. Okay, then we have this commands equals a new collection here, right? Okay, now we're going to go to src folder and we're going to make a modules folder, and we're going to make a new file and we're going to call this logger.js. This is where we're going to create our own custom logger. So how does this work? Essentially is we're going to make a class here. But first we need to do is const chalk equals require chalk. Const moment equals require moment. Okay, then what we do is module.exports and we do class logger. Okay, we don't always need to have a constructor here. We don't need a constructor here. So we can just create the method. So the method is going to be called log. And we need to pass in the content and type as our formal parameters. If you don't know what I mean by formal parameters and actual parameters, formal is what we're asking for, actual is what we're getting. I hope that makes sense because it makes sense to me. That's the best way I can explain it is essentially right here you see parameters, right? This is what we're asking for. This is like more of like formally asking someone for something, and an actual is what we're actually getting. So whether it's being passed when we call on this method. So if we call on this method in the Discord bot class, we're actually passing something into it. whereas this is formally asking us for something. Okay. So you may be wondering, why do I have this comment here, this block comment, or multi-line is what it's actually called, but I like to call it just block because it makes more sense. The reason why we were having this, hold on, let me do error here. I'll explain what I'm doing here in a second. Warn, debug, event, and CMD, and we have client. Okay, so the first thing I'll explain here is, let me control dot, and then I want to disable for the entire thing. But anyway, so why are we using this block comment? The reason for it is because how JavaScript works is that type doesn't really matter, and it tries to guess what the type is. However, when you're doing this with parameters, it doesn't actually know what the type is, and it assumes that the type is any. As you can see here, this is any type. We kind of want this to be any type because we want to pass anything through it. But this is kind of hard for us to do everything with because it tries to assume that everything's any when we do parameters. So this is why block comment with the at parameter is so useful, is because now type here is this type. If we didn't have this here, it would assume that it's any, and we won't have any string methods that we need because it will assume that it's any, and we have to do this a lot in our head. I usually do this a lot for like Discord stuff. So I do like when I do multiple like event files, I would comment, do a block comment. This only works for block comments, not single line comments. But so then I can get all the methods I need for it. It's super nice. I'll probably show you an example of what I'm talking about later. But anyways, so we're gonna have let timestamp equals chalk dot black dot bg, and I'm going to just have this be gray. You can have this be any color you want. Dot format. This actually needs to be like this. Dot format. Okay. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a switch case here. You should understand what a switch case is. This is kind of basic stuff what a switch case is. But a switch case here is essentially, how do I say it? It's like an if statement, like an if else statement here. So we have error here, and this is gonna be return console.log, and we're gonna have timeout stamp chalk dot black dot bg dot red, and then we just need to pass in. I'm just going to do error. I'm just going to write them out instead of having it be like the types. Actually, you know what? It'd be easier to have the types there because I can copy and paste. So let's just do that. Then I would just do is type dot to uppercase. Okay. And then I can do that, and then we just do content. Copy. And it is complaining about that, so I just need to do that. Come over here. And this is going to be info. This is going to be warn. This is going to be called debug. This one's going to be called event. Looks like I need 2 more here. This one's going to be called CMD. And this one's going to be called client. Okay. And let's just make sure we have this all formatted nicely. Okay, now we can come over here. I'm going to make this be blue. Because why not? Then we're going to have this be yellow. Because usually that's what you see when you do that. This is going to be green. What is this one going to be? Let's have this be magenta. Let's have this one to be white. Let's have this one to be, let's have it to be, I'm trying to think this through. What kind of what do we have here? Let's have this be Scion. Um, uh, okay, we have all that. Okay, now we're gonna make a little bit of shortcuts here. I forgot to do one more thing here. We need to have a default here. Default, and this is gonna be default row, new type air, and we're gonna just say type, and we do type of type is not a valid type, because we can use log here if we need to. So that's kind of why we have that default there. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is just make like like some short stuff. I have this be any. By default it's usually any, but I just like having this there so I know. And I can also like add like summaries about it if I need to, which I will probably do on my off time. You'll probably see that because I'll put this in the GitHub, Git repo. But anyway, so then we do return this.log, and then we do content, and then we do air, and then we do info, and then we do content. I'll probably do that on my off time so then we can get this done quicker. Content, and we have info. We're only going to do this for the main 4 ones, which is what most people know about. Warn, content, return this.log, content, and warn. And then we have debug. Okay, content, return this.log, content, and we're going to do debug. Okay, we have everything done basically in here. Now we can go back to the discordbot.js file, and we can just do this.logger equals a new logger. Now what this allows us is now we can do like client.logger.log or client.logger.info. We can only do that now because technically we're making our own class that is extending from the client class within Discord, the discord.js, which is super nice to have. Now the next thing we're going to do here is I'm looking this through because I'm looking at my older or my newer bot that is using this kind of structure. We can do settings later, it's not needed here. What we do need to do here is go into the index file, and we need to start setting this up here. So we need to do is require we need to do require.env.config. This allows us to access .env files and use process.env. So yeah, another thing about ESLint is it hates process. I don't know why it hates it, because it should know what the type is, but it says that it's undefined type, but it should not be. I'm positive you can probably like fix that, but it's weird. But anyway, so we're gonna have Discord bot, and we're gonna require our Discord.bot here, our /Discord bot, and we're gonna do const client equals a new Discord bot. Okay, and then we're going to do is a const init. This is going to be equals to a error function. I do need to make this be lowercase. Then we just call on that, and then what we do here is, yeah, that's it. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is basically do client.log login, and we're going to do process.env.token. And you can see what I was talking about. It hates process.env for some strange reason, so just fix that. Just put ESLint disabled no undefined. I'm sure you can put that into the .ys lintrc.js file. I'm very positive you could do that. But right now, I'm not too worried about it. I'll probably fix that for the next video. Okay, so we have that basically down. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to put the SRC folder and we're going to create a folder called handlers. We're going to make an event and command handlers. What are those things? Let me make those things first. So we're going to have this be called command handler.js, and we need to have the event handlers. So event handler.js. So what are the handlers supposed to do? Handlers are supposed to handle everything that has to do. So event handler has to handle everything that has to do with the event, such as loading them and making sure that they're working. The command handler does the exact same thing, but for commands, and loads them from our command folders, and the event handler loads everything from the event folders in their respective folders, which will be categorized so we have some organization in it. So the first one we're going to work on is the command handler. Okay, so this is what makes this super nice, having a class here, and using the module.exports, not module exports, the app parameters, all that stuff, the block comments. It's really nice that we can use classes here to abuse that. But we're going to have this be a module.exports equals a class command handler. Okay, put that there, and we're going to do a constructor, and this is just going to have client. This dot client equals client. Okay, now we're going to come up here and we're going to define what client is, and that's going to be, hold on, that's going to be a Discord bot. This will complain that it can't find it because it's technically in a comment, but we can do that. Okay, now client has that type. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to do load commands, and we're just going to put in the dirs for directories. But let me show you what I was talking about if I didn't have this there. So if I were to do that, now if I do this dot client, see, I have nothing here. See, because it's assuming that it's an any type. See, it says it's any type. But if I were to put, put Discord bot here, now I have everything that's within the Discord bot because now it knows what its type is. This is super useful to use. This trick is amazing. If you were to do this for, like, if you want to define what a type is, you do the exact same style, but you would do at type, and you would just do like Discord bot. This is super useful. I really love using this because it also gives us type there. So I recommend you using this this here because this is super useful to use. Let's define what dirs is. It's going to be a string here, and now dir is type of string. Now we can use string methods and all that kind of stuff for it. So yeah. So what we're going to do here is const commands equals a reader sync, and I do need to define what that is. Let me see here. I can't do that through there. We need to do reader sync is requiring fs. Fs is for file system. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to do a string inject, and we're going to do src, so /src /commands / and we're going to do our string inject, and we're going to inject dir. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to filter, and we're going to do d as our predicate here, and we're going to do d dot ends with, and we're going to do .js. D here is just to like resemble directory here. So basically what this does is it's going to create a array of strings, or like the strings of the files that we have within our directory that we can use and call on. So now what we do here is for let file of commands. You may be wondering, why are we using of instead of in? they work totally different, which is really weird that of is what we need to use instead of in. But essentially, what of does is, I don't know if it will show what it does. Does it? No. Um, but of basically does is it grabs everything within the array, whereas in is kind of different. Where I tried it with in and it doesn't work for what we're trying to do, but in I believe is exactly the same way, but it has to do with the properties. I believe I can't remember what they do, but I remember there are two different separate things, and of works in our case for some strange reason instead of in, because in makes more sense than of. But anyways, so now what we're gonna do is let cmd underscore cmd for a reason, and then we're gonna do require here, and we're gonna do dot dot slash commands slash dir, and this is what I was talking about. We can now call on file. But here's the catch: we're gonna make the commands to be classes as well. We're gonna have a base. I'll explain what a base is, but right now we're gonna need to do is let cmd without the underscore is equal to require dot slash not no wait no we need to do new underscore cmd, and then what we need to do here is this dot client. We're gonna pass in the client here. Okay. Then what we need to do here is this dot client dot commands dot set, and then we're gonna have the cmd dot props dot name, and then we need to pass in cmd. So the emap or map in general is a key value structure. What does that mean? So key value structure is essentially like a JSON file. Even over here, this is a key value structure here. This is the key. This is what you're going to be searching by, and this is the value. So this is what the key is holding on to. So if you want to think about it, the key is like a key to a locked door, and the value is what's inside or behind the locked door that the key is used to unlock that door to get to it. That's the best way to explain what a key value pair is basically. Now what we're going to do is this dot client dot logger dot log. Do I need log? Yes, I do. And what we're going to do is cmd dot props dot name was loaded, and then we're gonna just have the type of cmd. Okay, and that's basically all we need to do here. And what we could do here is we can copy this and go into, this is the event. This was in the event handler for some strange reason, but it's fine. We just need to change this to be the event handler and change a few things here, because this is different from the command handler in some way, but it works for what we need it to do. Okay. Now, now we come down here, we're going to just call this to be load events. And then we're going to name this to be events. This is going to be now events. Oops. Okay, now we need to change this to be events as well. And that's basically right. Okay, I need to change this to be fat. Okay. And then we just need to, yeah, let's just get the rid of this entire thing. Okay, now what we do is let ename, I'll explain why we need to have this here, file.split dot, and then we want to do 0, let event underscore, so underscore event, require dot dot slash src slash events slash dir slash file. Okay, and we do let event equals a new event, and we're going to pass in this dot client. Okay, this is why we need the ename here. This dot client dot on file. Okay, and then we do dot dot args as our predicate here, because we're doing an arrow function, and we're going to do event dot invoke, and then we'll do dot dot args. So this is the problem. If we were to do file here, it would not work. The reason for that is because file is basically has a extension here, which is why we're splitting here. So if we were like to do the ready event, it would look like this: ready.js. That is not an event name. This is why we have the e name, is because then we can create to be like that, and we just have the file names to be the event names. It's quicker and easier to do and less hassle to do. So this is why we have e name here. So we do e name, and that will make everything work. Okay, now what we'll just do is this dot client dot on dot logger dot log, and we're gonna do e name was loaded, and we need to pass in event. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna come to the Discord bot here, and we're gonna make a property of this. We're gonna call this be handlers is equals to, and this is gonna be command, and this is gonna be a new command handler, and we're gonna pass in this and event, and it's gonna be a new event handler, and it's gonna be called this. Okay, that is beautiful. Let me space that out. Okay. Now, what we need to do left here is essentially just get everything all ready and to go here. I'm just checking a few things here real quick. We also need one more thing here. We're going to have this dot app info is equals to this, but we want to give it a type of, and it's going to be a client application. Now this should be the type of, and it is, so it's perfect. We do need to do that. Okay, let's go to index here, and we are basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a client folder, and we're going to have a guild folder, and we're going to do a string array dot for each method here, or function, whatever you want to call it. I call these things methods because it is a method, but in JavaScript it is different than a method. But anyway, so we do x here as our predicate, and it's going to basically be this dot client dot handlers dot handler. I don't know why it's not working. It is probably because, why is it not working? This is a type of. This is a type of. That is also the type of. Is it like that? Is that why it's complaining? Why is it oh, because it's not this. Client dot handlers dot event dot load event, and we do x here. That is so much nicer than having to rewrite every single time. I personally like using this method much better than just rewriting it. We're gonna have a miscellaneous folder here, so miscellaneous, and then we're gonna have a dot for each, and x is going to be a predicate, and we're gonna do client dot handlers dot command dot load commands x, and that is all we need to do in here. Now what we're going to do is make the folder for events. So we're going to be events. I think it's called events. Let me check here. Yes, I call it events. So I need to rename this real quick. What we're going to have in here is a client folder, and we need a guild folder. So these are categories, or categorized by based off what the event does for it. So in the client folder, we are going to have stuff like the ready event. So ready.js, and what we will do is module.exports class. We don't need to give the class name because it's like we don't need to. But anyways, what we're going to do here is constructor, and we need to pass in the client here by default. This dot client is equals to client here, and we will do this here. Sorry if you can hear me typing this aggressively. This is just how I type usually. And then we do async invoke. I usually like having things async even if it doesn't need async, but that's just me here. Okay. we don't actually need to have the app info when I'm thinking about it, but this is how you do this type thing. But we don't need it. I just realized that. That's for something else, which we might do later on. But anyway, so what we're gonna do in here is essentially is this dot client dot logger dot yeah, it's fine, log, and we're going to do this dot client dot user dot username is ready, and it's going to be event. Okay, and then we're gonna have this dot client dot let's have user dot status. So set activity here. We're gonna have name to be let's just have it ready to help. Let's have it like that. I also forgot that I'm supposed to be using double quotes here. This is why I really love ESLint, or having something that enforces code formats. Okay, let's have null here, or you can just have type here, and I'm just gonna have it be watching. Okay, this dot client dot user dot set status. This will actually be really nice if we actually did it this way. Hold on, online. But let's go to Discord bot here, and let's do this dot status is equals to we can just have it be like on here or online here just by default. And we can come over here and we just do at type here, and we can do online DND. I think idle, and it also needs invisible. I believe that's what it wants. Let's check here. Invisible, yep. And I think I spelled that correctly. So now what we can do here is this client status. And now what we could do here is we can come over here, and let's say I want this bot to be DND. So I can just do this client dot status is equals to DND. There we go, and it will be DND because this changes because it's not a read only. So that changes here, and this will be executed by the event handler. Now we're going to come to the guild folder, and we're going to make a message.js event here. This event will handle everything that has to do with the message event and the guild stuff. Okay, so we can honestly just copy and paste here. So let's copy here, and let's just paste it here. The only difference here is going to be that we need message here. Okay, and we're going to add type of message for the parameter here. Okay, perfect. Now what we're going to do here is make a check. So we're going to have a check for message.author author.bot. We're going to return if it is true. This will prevent any bots trying to access or like communicate to our bot. Okay. Next thing we want to do is an if message.guild and message.channel.permission for and it's going to be message.guild.me.missing send messages. Then we're just going to return. This is just checking to see if we can't talk in the channel of the guild. Then we're just not going to do it and prevent more errors to happen. Okay. Next, we're just going to have a check here. Message.channel.type is equals to dm. Then we're just going to return here. Okay, so we have all that, right? Okay, next thing we need to do here is we need a prefix. What we're going to just do is let prefix, or actually we can have this be const prefix is equals to process.env dot prefix. Okay, and we also need to, I can do this for this line. Okay, now what we do here is if message dot content dot starts with, or actually need to do is dot to lowercase, and we do dot starts with, and then I do prefix here. Okay, perfect. Next, what we want to do here is const args equals to message dot content dot slice prefix dot length, and then we do dot trim trim dot split a regex of space here. Okay, now we just do const command. We'll do command name is equals to args dot shift dot to lowercase. Okay, that's for the commands and all that stuff. Okay, now what we're gonna do is const cm yeah, let's do command here. Const command is equals to this dot client dot commands dot has, or not dot has, but dot get. Why is it not working? I'm trying to think this through. Why would it not work? Because I already have it to be the collection of. Interesting. Did I spell it wrong? Call it command. But anyway, so set. And we're going to do is get command name this client dot command dot find. Then we're going to do predicate cmd dot aliases and cmd dot aliases dot includes command name. What does this mean? So basically what this is going to do is search for the command by the command name. If it can't find it, then what it's going to do is basically the statement right here is saying or search for find the command based off of if it has a command, like if the command has an aliases, then search through those aliases, see if the command is there. If it is, then we're going to have command to equal whatever the command is. This is super useful than having to do this complicated like if statements and all that. Now we can just do is if command does not exist, so the not the exclamation mark and command, and we just do return here. So this is basically saying if there's no command that is there, then we just not going to do anything. Okay. Now what we're going to do is have a try catch here. So we're going to have try. So try, and we're going to have await command dot invoke message and args. Okay, and we're gonna have a catch here. So catch error, and then we're gonna just do console dot error, and then we're gonna have error. Why you may be wondering why we're not using the logger here. The console dot error will give us more information than the logger. It's strange how the logger, when we do it, it doesn't give us all the information. But the console.error does, and it's also more formatted for errors in a way. But anyway, so we have all that done. Now we're going to talk about what a base is. So we're going to first make is a go to the src folder, and we're going to make a folder called base. And then inside this we're going to create a file called command base.js. So what is a base? Base is very similar to what a interface is, or a struct if you were watching my C#, my discord.net tutorial. This is very similar to a struct, however we're going to be using JavaScript's classes to form this. So first thing we need to do here is we're going to do is const discord bot is equals to require dot slash we just do dot slash discord bot. Okay, then we do module dot export is equals to class command base. Okay, oops, and then we need to come over here and we're going to basically do that. Now we're going to have a constructor here, and this is going to pass in the client. Then what we need to do is name is equals to null. Then description is going to equals hold on. Description here is going to equals no description provided. And then we have category here. Category is going to equals miscellaneous. Okay. Usage is going to be no usage provided. Okay. Then we're going to do enabled is equals to true. Then we're going to do guild only is equals to false, which actually we don't even need that here. And we're going to do aliases is equals to a new array. Okay. So you may be wondering why we're doing this. So this gives us better structure in a way. I'm just going to do types here. So @type Discord bot. Okay. Then we're going to have this.prompt is equals to name. Then we need description. Then we need category, usage, enabled, and aliases. There we go. And we have that done. Now we can go to make the command folders. So commands, and here we need to have a miscellaneous folder. So miscellaneous. And we're just going to do a simple ping command. So we're going to do ping.js. Okay. Now what we do is module.exports equals class. And we're going to have this be a ping command extends command base. There we go. Now we do constructor and we just do client. Okay. Then what we do is super client. Then we do name is equals to. That is going to be ping. Aliases is going to be like this, and we're going to have it to be latency. Okay. Then description is just going to be displays the bot's ping. Usage is just going to be ping. Then enabled is going to be true. Okay, you know, we just need that stuff there. Now what we're going to do is an invoke statement, so async invoke. Then we need message and args. Then we need to do here is message and a string array. Control dot. Okay, now what we do here is we do this dot client dot channel dot send, or not channel, but we need to do is message dot channel dot send, and we do pong the bot's ping is, and we do this dot client dot ws for WebSocket, and then we do ping, and we do milliseconds here. There we go. We got all that done. Let's make sure everything works here. Now I just need to make a .env file. I'll show you kind of what the structure looks like. I'm gonna have the prefix be like this, and I will have to cut here to put in my token. So give me a second to do that. I am back now, and we can run this. So I'm just gonna do Control C or Control Shift C or Command Shift C. Not command, you just still can Control Shift C for Mac, but now I can just do is node dot. What is it talking about? Let's see here. What is it I didn't even need to have src here, that's why. Now it should work. There we go, everything looks like it's working here. Let me just go to here real quick to show you. As you can see here, we have the events and we have the ping, and I just do ping here. And there we go. That's all we need to do here. And that's just that simple. This is the end for this tutorial. I'll do another one which will be doing the help command and a few other commands and get stuff more set up. But this is just a start for getting this started and everything. So I will see you guys in the next video.